and welcome to another episode of Wind, Waves and Wells with Joe. Me, 20th episode, baby. I actually am dead chuffed with myself that I got this far. I'm even more chuffed with myself that people are still actually listening to it. When I first started this off, I went through a heap of people. A lot of people gave me the old no one wants to hear my voice, but Big Chris over in Taiwan came back and said, yep, let's go for it. It should be fun. And unfortunately, I kind of used him as a guinea pig to kind of work out how to podcast. Ultimately, I learned obviously along the way on the back of that, doing other episodes and that. But he was the scapegoat to get it kind of up and running. So what I did do as a kind of apologies to him is kind of getting back on for a better version. So straight into it. Big Sea Dog's back on the show. 20th episode. There was only one person. I was asking back on. No, not just that. When I first started off, to be fair, I sent you a message and you were dead quick to respond. First off, it's been very difficult to get people on, but you kind of said, yeah, it'll be good crack, good fun. Unfortunately, you were my guinea pig, so it didn't turn out as well as I wanted it to, but it got posted anyway.
I noticed.
Thought we were friends. I've learned a lot from it since, though. So now I've got a better camera.
Yeah, I can tell because the other episodes are awesome. Gone from a complete bag of shit to top tier professional.
Yeah, but
podcast.
You live and learn. Eh? Someone's going to have to take the brunt of it.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day,
yeah,
you've made a good go of it, and some of the people you've had on just mind blowing. Chris Lemons, Last Breath, I remember, emotional. Joe Mean and Piper Alpha. I mean, to get these guys on is mind blowing. I also there was Reese, Justin, Ali, Richie.
Yeah.
I watched theirs as well. There's a few I haven't watched, but yeah, some really good podcasts there. So I'm really chuffed for you, mate. It seems to be going the right way, and I know from talking to you off record that you've got some more good ones coming. So yeah, it's awesome, mate. I'm really happy for you. Just mine was shit.
It was whatever second go at it. Second time. Yeah, but I did tell you though, yours is the most streamed one on Spotify because I'm not entirely sure why, but I'm wondering if it's the length of it. I'm wondering if a lot of people got a short. No, I can get up on my phone and show you. Yeah.
Well, he knows.
What have you been up to anyway?
Yeah, we just got back from Thailand. Me and Kwan got back yesterday. We just had best 10 days down the south at the islands. A place called Ao Nong near Krabi. We didn't want to do Pattaya, Bangkok, place like that. And some of the lads on the vessel actually live in Thailand. They said, look, go down Krabi way, have a look. And it was mind-blowing, fantastic. Really, really good time. Oh, without a doubt. Beautiful place, friendly people, really friendly, and the food, there's nothing you can't get. Really,
I guess
outstanding place.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And
no, I was going to say there's definitely no regrets moving over to Asia then. I kind of mind if we spoke about that I think we did briefly, but obviously you made the move over to. When did you start in Taiwan? Yeah.
4 years ago now, I think. 3.5.
No regrets making the move over there. When did you move? 2 years ago?
Not so. I moved pretty much 2 years ago now. Yeah, made that big decision. No regrets. I don't miss the UK, not at all. Few little things, going out with the lads for a drink and that, but I don't miss any of it, to be honest. And I went back to the UK last June for a week, and I ended up sitting in a hotel most of the time on my own because the lads were working, family are busy, and I just thought, you know what, going back. And I went back a bit earlier. I've got a good life here, good woman looking after me. So, yeah, no regrets at all. Work is good.
What's happening in Taiwan wind farm side of things? Because I think I've seen a couple of decent headlines at least.
Yeah, they've got some mental
Yeah.
vision, if you like. But the problem is, it's all down. We spoke about it last time. It's all down to the permits and the paperwork, the red tape. But the most important
Mm.
thing is struggling for people and vessels. Jackups are booked for 5 years ahead of time. If you want a vessel now, for 20, you'd be looking to get one for
Yeah.
2030, 2031. So, that's the biggest bugbear now. Um, and train people because I know America's hit a bit of a roadblock at the minute, but that'll probably change. But there's wind farms all over the place, and of course, all the good guys are busy, flat out, trying to get that next generation in and get them trained up and get them offshore.
But does he?
My lad starts next week. I managed to get my lad
What's he gonna do?
Yeah, he starts next week, so that'll be interesting.
He's going
He'll
into
be
the
working with the
grout.
grouters. I've
Fuck.
thrown him,
That will
I've thrown
get
him in
him.
at the
That'll make a
deep
man out
end.
of him.
Yeah, that's the whole point. If we can, if he can sort himself out, get stuck in, do what he's told. He's
Yeah.
25 now. He's not 18. So it's make or break, and I'm sure he'll do all right. I'm sure
Oh,
he'll
is
do well.
he?
But he's coming on my vessel now. So yeah, this will be interesting. Me being the company man and him going in with the grouters. But he's going with a couple of good lads that I know and I've known for years. So I'm sure he'll do all right. If he doesn't, I give him a chance.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
up to
you
him
don't
if he
have
makes
to.
it or not.
I think if he
But
listens to this,
he'll-
like one of the guys I work with now, really really good lad. I'm not going to mention names. He was in the grout. He did a few different things. He did the grout, and now he's working with us. Um, but he's a great boy. Like really really good lad. Dead keen. Um, couldn't do enough. Likes a good bit of graft and stuff like that. So it's not the end of the world if he goes in, gets his foot in that. I spoke to Richie about it ages ago. Go in with the intentions of taking on anything. So if he goes in, and he gets his couple of years in the foot, he learns a bit more about what else is going on. There's no reason why if he turns around and goes, I wouldn't mind doing something else. At least he's got a couple of years under his belt to move into something.
and that's what I've said to him, Joe. I've said, you stick this out because
Mm.
in this heat, and it's hot here now, today, 35, 36 degrees, really humid. And I'm up in Taoyuan near Taipei. Down there, Kaohsiung, Anping, Tainan, it's even warmer down there and really humid. So I've said to him, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a graft. It's going to be hot, super hot on deck. It's going to be 45 plus. I said, but you stick,
Yeah,
yeah, you know what it's like with all them mixing machines. I said, but you stick it out for the duration of the project. I think we'll be done probably around about October, end of October. So if he sticks it out for the couple of trips, and he gets good reports, then I'll put him through. He'll earn a bit of money for himself as well, obviously, to set up maybe a
yeah,
deposit on a house or something. But money aside, I'll help him with some rigging tickets and that, and open the doors up a bit more. But he's got to prove himself now. And like I've said to all the youngsters that are interested, get out there, make a name for yourself,
mm,
prove you can get stuck in. You know yourself, Joe. It's offshore's not for the weak. It's a teamwork. It's all about the teamwork, and that
no,
weakest link
100%.
gets found out straight away, and don't last very long. So yeah, fingers crossed. It'll be strange having him on the Green Jade, but yeah, looking forward to it. I'm not going to babysit him. That's not fair. Like I said, he's
Yeah,
25, but I can keep an eye on him and give him some pointers. But just let
absolutely.
him
Nail
just
him.
beast him.
I bet you'll wind him up something chronic as
Yeah,
well. To be fair. Yeah. It was
me.
a good shout about the rigging, though. I think that would be, obviously with the amount that it is, I mean, it is basically all lifting, really, isn't it? Wind farms. That is a good move. That would be a good move. I think if I was younger again, um, I'm still youngish, but if I was starting off, I would get that foot in the door, get out there, and definitely just go get your rigging, go shadow, and then just try and go move up to like lift supervisor and I mean ultimately you can go from there to superintendent and all that kind of
But
stuff, can you really?
yeah, I'm not sure about the superintendent side, but I think on the lifting side, that's my background. I started as a crane operator, rigger, crane operator, then lift supervisor, deck superintendent. So yeah, he might enjoy that. I think I think you enjoy crane operating, but it's not the same as what it used to be now. You're not respected as a crane operator as they used to be. The old boys will tell you that now. The money, if you're in the company and you've got the right passport, then the
You're
money's pretty
treading
good.
treading very carefully there,
Um,
Christopher.
yeah. Hey,
No,
but
no.
we're not going to
I
bullshit, are
totally
we? But if
agree.
you've got the
The
right
passport and the
passport, you know
nationality
the
does help a
score.
lot in this game. Uh,
For
which is
sure, 100%. I'll give him some chances and open up some doors for him, and it's up to him
yeah.
what he makes
No,
of it.
I think it's a good shout. Like I think we don't. I mean, I do see younger people in the wind in comparison to when I was in the oil and gas industry, but it's still very much. There is so much opportunity. You can do really well. The guy, I mean, for example, the vessel I'm on at the moment, I think one of the OCMs is like 25, but he's a clever boy. He's come out. Obviously, he's come out of university. He's gone into superintendent. He's gone into OCM. 25 years old. I mean, you wouldn't dream of that. That would never happen in the oil and gas industry, obviously, because of the amount of weight that there is on top of you. And yeah, you drilling, for example, I've come across Derrickman that have been doing it for 15, 20 years, and they've only stuck at Derrickman. Whereas there is an awful lot of opportunity in the wind. So
For sure, 100%. But 25 years
yeah,
old to
I
have
know.
all
I,
that
I did think that.
responsibility.
I think that's what
But
I
it's the
said, and
experience.
I felt that. I felt that the experiences does let you down a little bit, and I noticed a little bit of that. But I think that's what some of these companies are doing now. It's the whole cost thing. It's what's more expensive. Take someone who has come out of university a few years back. You put him through your company's way, and then you can kind of move him into that position, or take someone who's had 20 odd years offshore experience, who demands quite a high price, has got a really good track record to show why he does, and probably demands nearly double the money. And I think that's where the companies are kind of looking at. Yeah.
Yeah, but one mistake, one bad decision
Well,
cost more than
that's
double that
that's I've said this for a while. Not unfortunately, but fortunately, it's to some extent, the wind industry hasn't had its major incident to kind of have that to live off the back of.
No, I'm not talking about not incidents as in accidents, disasters, etc. I'm talking about one decision, like
Yeah.
for a weather window or something like that. 1 hour costs 20,000 to 10 hours costs 200,000. That's a year, 2 years salary
Yeah.
for a decent guy. So
Yeah.
one
No.
bad
Yeah. I'll give you
decision
that. Actually,
can more than
that's
cost.
no. I'll give you that
You know what I
100%.
mean?
What's Asia side? Because I can't mind the boy's name. He's on LinkedIn. He's just left Taiwan. He's going over to South Korea. So aside from Taiwan, which is obviously the Saudi Arabia, so to speak, of wind in the Far East, what's happening elsewhere?
Yeah, that's South Korea. Friend of mine, he's actually South Korean. I worked on that Jeonnam project before Christmas. Met up with a few of the locals there, the construction managers. Um, there are a couple of big projects going to kick off there soon. Could offer a role there, but it was residential, which didn't really appeal to me at the time. But yeah, South Korea's going to be kicking off probably end of 2026, 2027. Japan's already flowing. Philippines are really keen to have X amount of gigawatts by some unreal date.
Yeah.
Like same as Taiwan, they expect to have X
Yeah.
amount
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
last year. It's the figures. They're just grabbing figures and throwing them out there and putting them on the media, and there's no way they'll do it. But
Yeah.
it is busy. Um, I'd like to think Vietnam will be kicking off soon. A lot of the fabrication yards are in Vietnam anyway, so they're building
Right.
or fabricating a lot of jackets, top sides. Most of the top sides in Asia are coming from Vietnam and South Korea, also with their fabrication yards. So they're involved in the wind farms, but not actually putting up wind farms in their area as yet. Like I say, South Korea put the Jeonnam Um, the Yanmar project, and that's the next one. I think that'll be in the next year.
How
Start.
many?
Um,
Yeah, sorry, carry on.
yeah, and then
No, carry on.
obviously, sorry, Joe. Obviously, Australia's already penciling in so many
I did see that.
gigawatts by X amount of
I
years.
saw that one actually. I saw that they've released quite a few licenses actually. They seem to be jumping right into it. How many projects are ongoing in Taiwan at the moment, roughly?
Oh, TPC2 project, Chengguo 2B4A, our project Hai Long. Formosa's in the pipeline now as well. Formosa, I don't know whether it's 3 or 4, I've lost count with the number. I think there's 3 in construction as we speak.
I saw Zhongnen.
Yeah,
Zhongnen's
that I
done
know
now,
of.
isn't it?
Taipower.
Yeah. That's
Zhongnin's
earning.
done spinning, earning.
And
Yeah. Yeah, that's spinning.
and then obviously Yunlin now that's earning finally. Yeah.
That's spinning, earning. Yeah. Yeah, Greater Changhua 2B4A. That's constructing now. Hai Long, which we're on, is constructing, and Taipower TPC2 also. I think they're the only 3 at the minute.
Did you come back to
I'll
Europe?
have to double check. No thanks.
Why?
I'm at the age now, Joe, where I think I've got another 3 or 4 years in me, and I think I can hold that out over here. And then that's
Are you
it.
actually gonna though? Do you think? Do you
Boots
think
up.
you'd actually would? I bet you'd. I
I've
think
done
you would
enough
still
now.
do the odd job.
Do you know, everyone says the same. Chris Rowan, they all say the same, but maybe I'd do a little bit of consulting here and there, like I already am. But I'd like to think once you've got enough money in the bank that you can sit back and relax. I think the only thing that would make me want to do something, maybe a week, a month, or a couple of weeks, or maybe the odd trip here and there, is to stop the boredom. But I'm not sure I'd ever get bored over here. And if I've got enough money in the bank that we could jump on a plane for 2 hours and go to Japan, jump on a plane for 1.5 hours, go to the Philippines, that's the good thing about being over here. We're close to all these different countries. Thailand was a 3.5 hour flight. It's nothing. And these are magical places that I never dreamt I'd ever get to see when I was over in Europe, working in Europe. I've done my Germany, Denmark, Belgium, Holland, UK, France. Hated it.
No.
I didn't mind the German wind farms. As you know,
that helps.
I speak fluent German, so I enjoyed the German wind farms. I enjoyed the Dutch wind farm. I didn't enjoy France one bit.
Why?
Really didn't like it. Client, I was a company man then as well. But the client, the French client, I really didn't get on with them at all. And I get on with most people, but I just didn't like it, and I didn't become rebellious. I just disliked them, and I had no get up and go in me like I do on most projects. I like to be on top of things. I like to be organised, but I just dropped my shoulders and thought, I'm only here for the money now. I really don't care. And it got to that stage where I just didn't care anymore. Listening, 20 people calling you during the day, asking why we're not working because we've got 20 meter a second winds, and you're just like, I just can't be bothered with it, Joe. And it was that mentality. And then they come over here, and it's so much more. You've been there, Joe. It's so much more relaxed, and from a client point of view, from a company point of view, we're not getting dogged. They let us get on with it. Myself, Christopher, and Donny on the vessel, they just leave us alone and let us get on with it. And it makes it so much easier, and we get a better working relationship with the contractor as well. Demi CDW, they're not an easy company to work with, but we've managed to strike up a really good work relationship to balance, but no issues. And this is the 3rd project now. So
In fairness,
no dramas, all good.
You're on a really good vessel as well over there. When I was there, I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot over there. I mean, it was fairly new when I went on as well. Anyways, but from even obviously like most things, it's got its issues and stuff on a new vessel, and but it must be 2 years now, so you're probably starting to really get into a bit more of a swing of things. When I think when I messaged you or called you a wee while back, and you said you were as far through How Long as you were, I was pretty like, I think, what were you nailing, like a jacket a day at one point as
Steady.
well during the foundations?
Yeah, yeah. And actually, the pin bar campaign for this year is almost done. I think there's 4 or 5 locations. So by the end of next week, we'll be demobbing and going back on the jackets, and there's 36 jackets to get wet. So I think we're looking at probably sometime early or mid-October finish, and that's it. How Long complete, and then obviously then the turbines, they're being installed now as well in
Wow.
parallel. They're over on How Long 2 on the Blue Wind. So they're putting the turbines up, and they seem to be racing through them as well. So yeah, things are going really well over here.
No.
Must admit,
What's after How Long for you?
happy. Um, Not 100% guaranteed, but it looks like we're going on the Feng Mao
Right,
project
okay.
for
And that's next
COP
year.
again. Yeah, that'll start probably. This vessel will finish probably October, and then have their winter period. They might go and help out somewhere for a few months, but then it's looking like end of February 2026 start mob
That
end
jackets
for
again.
Feng Mao project, and that'll yeah, same, but bigger pin piles, bigger jackets. We're probably done again by August, September next year. So that
How
gives
many
us a good
jackets?
swing.
Right.
35,
Massive
yeah,
turbines.
something like that.
Yeah.
Massive. We
Yeah.
discussed this on my first podcast. These things are just gargantuan. They're huge now. You know, remember the 4 megawatts and the 6 megawatts. And we were like in awe of them, and now it's 15, 16, 18. Now they're talking about 20 megawatts, 130 whatever meter blades. I mean, it's mind blowing. You know, and we also discussed this last time. That the
Yeah.
vessels you need to install these things are just getting bigger and bigger. You can't use a jack up for these monopiles or these
No.
jackets. They're just too big. I know that. I think the Borealis,
Yeah, Boreas.
the Van Ord, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they've got a bigger crane. Yeah,
It's
I
3,000.
think that's
That's a
what is it,
3,000 ton crane.
3,000
But
ton crane
the
on there.
job that this vessel I'm on is going on to next, I think some of their monopiles are over 3,000 ton. So you're already, you know what I mean? So you're already getting to that stage now where I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years' time you probably need a crane. I think most vessels for foundations will probably be about 5,000 ton cranes because, like I said, I think this next project that they've got near me actually, as we spoke about, it's the monopiles are monstrous, like monstrous monopiles. It's going to be an incredibly interesting project, but jackets, and I've definitely spoken about this a few times. I don't think you're going to be able to use jackups eventually for some of the monopile campaigns, unless it's the smaller turbines, obviously.
Yeah, but that's the thing. These companies, they buy this land to put these turbines on. The bigger the megawatt, the less amount they have to install, so the less land they need. So I don't think they're going to go any smaller. There's not going to be many projects over the next 10 years that are going to go back to 6 megawatts. Even Vestas, it's all 9.6s and that. So no, I don't think jackups will be any good for foundations. Not in the long run, anyway.
What I've got a
We
question.
will see.
I don't think I asked much, but I'm going to go into what you do specifically, which is client rep. And what makes a good client rep?
To be honest, Joe, I really don't know. Yeah, you need the knowledge, obviously, of what's going on out there. You need the experience, as you know. Most of the client reps are ex-master mariners, HSC background, lifting heavy lift backgrounds. Myself, Chris, we're heavy lift background. Donny's a mariner, as you know. So the three of us, between us, we've got a lot of experience. you got to be able to get on with people. I've worked with some complete cockwomble wank spanglers in the past, and guys that I've turned down jobs because I've heard they're going on there, and I just thought, you know what, I can't be bothered with the stress, can't be bothered with it. They're blaggers, they're bullshitters, and they still don't have a clue after all these years. Uh, I'm not easy. I don't think I'm easy to get on with because I'm quite particular. I like things organised in a certain way. Um, I'm lucky to be working with Chris and Donny, and I've worked with them on a few projects now. We know how each other works. We get on really well. Um, I've worked with some great client reps in the past, and I've worked with some like complete wasters. So, what makes a good client rep? I think if you keep getting asked to go back, with the companies, you must be doing something right.
Yeah, yeah. What
You
makes a
know what I
bad one then?
mean? Not listening, walking around with your chest out. Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
That I am God syndrome. Yeah, does my head in. Does my head in. And actually, I worked with one client rep a couple of years ago, and he actually called the back office and said, "Chris is too friendly with the guys. This is not the attitude of a client rep." And the back office just laughed at him and said,
Mm,
"You need to start getting on with people." Anyway, 2 weeks later, he got kicked off,
no.
so it didn't work for him. This "I am God" syndrome is just it's so prehistoric now. You've got to get on with people, especially the contractor. These EPCI contracts, they're responsible now, the contractors, for nearly everything. So we don't have that much responsibility work-wise. We're the eyes and ears, and we just got to report back. And as long as we can report back accurately with no bullshit,
You mentioned
we're doing
America
all right.
earlier, actually, and it's just come to me. Not obviously the big, obvious headline, which came out a month. I want to say a month ago. Yeah, it must have been a month, just over a month ago. Well, obviously we were recording this in May, but about Empire Wind getting knocked on the head, and then obviously this week is back and up and running. It's funny because of the company I work for, they've got units on there at the moment. And I remember when it first came out that this was happening, I thought to myself, that's clearly just the Trump administration fluffing their wings and just saying, listen, guys, yes, you can come and do it, but we're anti-wind at the end of the day. That's a huge project. And it was 30. I read something like it was 30% of the way through in terms of the engineering side of things, survey, blah 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 blah. Obviously, great news is going ahead again. What I mean, I know Boskalis are over there. There is a few ongoing projects. Demia are over there as well. Do you think after that, that's it? Or do you think, because if you actually read the manifesto, I'm sure they're going to revisit in 2027.
Yeah, I think, like you say, it's just flexing. Donald Trump, total bellend. But he's getting some wrong advice, and now I think they're starting to realise just how important this renewable energy is, whether it's wind farms, solar energy, whatever. It is important, and the investments they've already put into these
Massive.
projects is huge. But no, but look at Orsted pulling out of Hornsea 4. That was a massive surprise. But I know that they're still in talks with the UK government, so maybe that's just a little bit of flexing as well. The costs are rising, and they need to really grab hold of this because it could just be a slow decline for future projects. I mean, who knows? But for companies like Ørsted to pull out of the years of planning gone into Hornsea 4, it was I don't know what it was, 1.6
Yeah.
gigawatt, something daft like that. I mean, it's a massive project. So my personal thought is I think it will eventually go ahead. There's a bit of flexing going on there, bring the prices down a little bit. UK government will help.
Oh, I know,
Another
I know.
useless government, to be honest, but don't, but don't
No,
go into politics. That's not what we're here for, Joe. We
no,
could
I
cry
totally
for
get it.
hours with them, but yeah, I really hope that OMC4 does go ahead and all the rest of the projects. Because where else are we going to go? Is it all going to be
I think the
nuclear?
problem with
How much does
nuclear
that
is though
cost?
it
And
takes.
how long
I
does
mean,
that take to
Hinkley Point,
build?
for example, that's going to be 12 years all in. Okay, yeah, it's 6 million homes, which is brilliant, but it's 12 years.
Yeah, but
I
triple,
know the prices
quadruple
are
the
extortionate.
budget.
I think, but we had the same. It was a similar issue with Hornsea 3. That was nearly scrapped. I put a post up about that. That you know, that was nearly on its way out as well. But I think it'll be the same. Like you said, I think Hornsey 4 will probably end up going ahead. I think the big problem is like you said though, the government's understanding of how to go with this transition is obviously. I mean, the worst thing about all this is, and I've spoken to a few people about it, is the boy in charge of the energy sector is a banker, so he has not got a clue really, has he?
Was that? Did you say
Yeah,
banker?
banker.
Must,
Must have
must
been
have made him.
must have
Must
been
have
the
made him.
delay.
Must have been pods.
um,
Yeah.
and that's where the issue stems. You know, you've got a guy who clearly doesn't understand what he's doing. For this transition, they need to work in a line. It cannot be. You cannot have it being wind versus oil or renewables versus, you know, fossil fuel. It can't be like that. You need the two to work off the back of each other. Get a decent transition in place. Get the infrastructure on the beach in place. I read a stat that last year we spent £1 billion on turning off wind turbines. We don't have the infrastructure properly on the beach, whereas in the Far East, where you are yourself, is they seem to have almost got that in place for this energy coming in. Whereas with us, and I've got a guy who's on who Neil, he'll be on the podcast. He knows all about the stuff when it comes to the beach, but he's been writing posts left, right, and center on LinkedIn about this. We just don't have the infrastructure ready for when it comes back.
No, definitely not. That is a massive, massive problem. Even in the UK, we haven't really got the infrastructure that's needed, but it's doable. But countries over here and the permitting, the politics, supply chain, I mean, just headaches. Yeah, and the problem is, these countries want local content, you know, which is great until you realise there isn't any. You got to train a whole workforce. Take Taiwan, for instance. They're trying to train a complete workforce and still got to hit the COD, the commercial operation date, by next year. And you know, these countries, same as South Korea, they haven't got the infrastructure. They haven't got the available ports yet, and that's a massive, massive issue, probably worldwide.
Do you still see the industry heading in the right way?
Yeah, I'm still optimistic. You know, it is the future. I know we laugh and joke about it, but it works. It's scalable, and you can decarbonize big chunks off the grid. So, ambition, that is a big problem at the minute as well. The big ambition that all these countries have, it's just not possible. Putting too much pressure on contractors, but at the end of the day, they just need to invest in the people, in the infrastructures, and everybody needs to do that. Otherwise, we risk a burnout, and not just the workers, public.
Anything we've learned over the last year that's kind of coming to mind that you kind of sit and reflecting on at all about the industry or yourself?
Not really. We could do a better culture, to be honest. You know, some crew. It depends who you work with, and we hit the nail on the head. I'm on a good vessel with good people, which really makes a difference. But some crews are really chilled out legends. You know, as you've met yourself, risk their lives to save your coffee mug. But others think leadership shouting and pointing in broken English, and you know, those days should be gone. Well-being, work-life balance. That's an important lesson that I've learned over the years. As you know, broken marriage. I was concentrating too much on long rotations, earn the big money, the luxury lifestyle that we were leading back home. You know, with the horses and all the expensive stuff, the fast cars. You know, and I was stuck in that rut, and I couldn't really get out of it. And it broke my marriage, my family, and now I've had to start again, and I'm really positive about it now. It's not the be all and end all. That burnout culture, the silent pride around it does need to change. He's on his 7th straight week without complaining, and sleep. I run on caffeine and spite, you know, things like that. But it's not the physical aspect anymore. It's that mental fatigue. And I think we really need to look into that. I know the oil and gas that they've really got it worked out with their 2.2s or 2.3s, whatever. But even a 5.5 over here, our vessel does a 5.5. Is that too much to be on board? I'm not sure. I'm on a 6.3. I've been on a 6.3 for the two projects, but I live local,
Yeah.
so for me, I get 3 weeks off. I'm not traveling a day and a half each side and only getting 2.5 weeks off. So the 6.3 works out all right. If it was a different crew on board, different people, then maybe that wouldn't work. But we all get on really well on board. 140 people getting on is quite rare. But we do, and
Yeah.
you know yourself, you've been on board. And 2 years, the vessel, I've been on board since day one. I'm the longest serving guy on there as well, and that's including all the marine people. So they seem to have got their fixed client reps not on board the Green Jade, no matter what the project. Um, but yeah, for me, that burnout culture, I've learned a massive lesson in
Yeah,
this
I did a
since
five
I've
and five
changed
actually
TV.
in my last company. I think 4.4's probably the right balance, but I think if I was working over in the Far East or anywhere else, I think 5.5 would probably be better for your time off because obviously you lose your travel time. So say you're working in like in Taiwan, for example, you're near enough two days traveling out, 2 days traveling back. So you know you've already lost nearly your first week. So I think 5.5 in that respect is all right. I was only working in the UK 5.5. I think 4.4 would have been fine because obviously it didn't take me long to get home. But even though I know you're doing a 6.3, but I guess the thing that you've kind of got is that you know that you're not doing it for the whole year, right? I mean, you kind of start February, March time, and then you kind of wrap up October time. So I mean,
That's it.
you know, you're off, and yeah,
We get a big chunk off over the winter. I know I went to South Korea November, December, but then December the 14th, I finished, and then me and Kwan did our European tour. Then on the 15th of December, we got back, went to Vietnam after that. So we had a 3 week trip and then another 3 weeks off at home here, and then went back on the Green Jade end of January. So had a nice bit of time off there. And like you say, it's not
yeah,
6.3 for 12 months. It's maybe 4 trips, 24 weeks, which is
exactly,
not even 6 months in a
yeah,
year. So and on
exactly,
and on good wages as well. So we could sustain that time off and enjoy our time off.
yeah,
Yeah, I think a lot of the guys. There's a couple of guys actually that on board that are doing really long stints. They're from an Asian country. I won't say which one. Not Taiwan. Um, and and the wages in their country is so poor. So they're on board and they're trying to do
mm,
10, 11, 12 week trips and then just go home for a couple of weeks. And I did have a word with one of them. He's a really nice guy. Well, they both are actually. But one of them's daughter's going through
yeah,
university, which is costing a lot of money. It's hard to say you shouldn't be doing this, but you just got to keep an eye on them and make sure that they're still compos mentis and that they're still got their head in the game. But 12, 13 weeks. I did it the year before last. I think I had 1 week off
yeah,
in
it's,
7 months.
mm,
So I've been there, I've seen it. I know company man, there's not a lot of responsibility. You still got to have your head
yeah,
in the game, but out on deck doing 12-hour shifts like these guys are. And that's the worry. They're out there on deck in the heat for 12 hours a day for weeks on end. And you got to feel for me. You got to put yourself back to when we were doing that. Luckily, it wasn't in that heat. It was in the freezing
yeah.
cold in Germany when I remember. Snow and
I think
ice.
I prefer the heat.
Shit in the bed.
I prefer the
Probably
heat
go
to the
back to that
cold, man. I hate
place.
it cold. My fingers go in
Yeah.
the cold, man.
Oh, I don't know. An hour on deck's enough for me now.
The only cramp you'll get is in your fingers from the type up. Yeah.
I'm not sure
It's
about
all
that.
AI now. Just speaking.
Yeah.
Chat's writing it. Uh, Yeah,
Yeah.
I
What about
mean,
yourself
I'm
anyway?
lucky. Like
How you
I
getting
think
on?
I'm lucky now. I'm on a on a fucking lovely vessel. Crew's good. People are good. Company I work for, like I can't find a complaint really. I've kind of landed really well.
I think, let me just remember. I'm sure I gave you that company name. Told you
No,
to
but
get
it
hold of
first
them.
stemmed from
I
is
said,
actually when I
don't.
was in my yeah
How
no.
dare
It
you?
first stemmed from last year. They were on board, and I just kind of it was one of them where you seen them and everything just looked right. Everything was clean. You know, they're constantly out looking after stuff. And I went and spoke to one of them, and they're investing.
And they're
The
investing.
thing is they're and they're all there's no obviously there's a guy that's kind of in kind of heading it up, but they're really is a real team like kind of approach to everything. Everything's like they ask you.
It's one of the only companies.
No,
Sorry, it's one of the only companies I know that I've worked alongside
yeah,
with this
and it is.
brotherhood mentality.
Yeah,
It's like being back in the army.
yeah. I
They're a real brotherhood, and they help each other. Like
no, I
even if they
know.
don't get on with
It's
each other,
really
it's a
good.
brotherhood. I
Like you
think
see
it's good to
that they
see.
are really getting stuck into. Like if they need something, you're out on deck. You're helping out. Even because there's a lot of emphasis on them to do the job, and the downtime's a big no kind of thing. Not intentionally going out there to make downtime, but if there is, there's a lot more like camaraderie, getting out there, like getting it back up. You can. I always think like what sells a company is the amount of time that people have been there, and most of the staff boys, I think, have they're in their 30s. Some of them have been at these places for 10, 12, 13 years. And I went to their site.
How many
Yeah.
guys
Yeah, I went to their
went to
site in
this side?
Holland.
Sorry,
When I first
in Holland.
started with them, they took us out for dinner. Honestly, I was just like, this is unbelievable. I've never experienced. Professionals, totally
Professionals.
professional. Like everything's,
They like,
yeah.
hey Joe, they like to play hard as well. I know
No
that for a
comment.
fact.
But I think they deserve it. Like, there's just the mentality is totally different. Like if you need a tool, it's not a case of how much is it or anything like that. It's right, let's go get the tool. Right, because that's gonna make this job easier, and there's a lot more thinking. They're dead, passionate for the company doing well as well, which is what you sometimes you never see. A good bunch of lads, they've yeah, I don't have any complaints. I'm dead happy with them. Like dead happy where I am, and hopefully that sees us out for a
Good.
good while. But yeah, I'm on a good vessel now, decent project. It's got its teething problems, but it's got a new gripper on board, so that's bound to you're gonna have to you got plenty of lessons and stuff, but they're doing well nonetheless. They're getting through it, they're working out as they go, and it's an innovative industry, the wind industry. There's so many things you can have to try and learn as you go along, and it's pretty much what the 1960s 70s would have been like for oil and gas. You keep trying, do you? So
Right, yes.
no, I'm chuffed, I'm happy. Got yeah, I'm not complaining. There's no complaints my side, put it that way. I'm a lot happier than I have been in the past. Yeah. Yeah,
Good.
no,
Well
I
deserved, my
know,
mate.
and
Well deserved.
I would
Might
love
see
to
you
come
over
back to
here one
Taiwan.
day
I
again.
do. The last time I was there last year, and I thought I might be going back, but unfortunately, it never happened. But I love Taiwan. I've said that a few times as well to people. Like I really enjoyed it over there. Really, really liked it. I like.
You enjoyed the dinner
Oh
when you
yeah,
came
that
over
too,
here, the
obviously.
Kwan, mate. Obviously,
Yeah.
that was the
Before going
highlight.
away, I thought it
That was
would
the
have been better
highlight.
going there after. It was one, it was one,
Yeah.
it was one of them. But yeah, no, I love Taiwan. I just love. I don't think it's just like the whole. I said, if you brought that kind of culture to Europe, which is probably maybe it was like that once upon a time, and that kind of I don't know. Like I'm only 33, 32 years old. Sorry, but that culture works so well. The Taiwanese people are unbelievable. And everything else that they're so like it's so they're throwing everything at it for to kind of get this energy sector built that yeah, I wish nothing but the best for them because they're really going for it, and then yeah,
But wait
yeah,
until
that'll be
the
good.
Philippines kicks off. English, a lot of especially in
Yeah.
Philippines, they speak English. So
Yeah,
imagine
that
how
would be.
easy that's going to be
Yeah.
for everybody, for us. That'd be amazing if we can get down to
Yeah.
the Philippines in the next few years. Uh, I loved South Korea as well. We went for a week before I joined the vessel. We flew over together and had a week in Seoul, and it was just an amazing place. But the whole of Asia, compared to
Yeah.
Europe, completely
100%.
different ball game.
I'm with you on that. I don't. Yeah. I'd like to. Hopefully, I'd like to go back. I prefer working in the heat and the cold. Like we're working now. Like we're where we're working now. Obviously, Northern Europe. But the weather was good, and it makes such a big difference, in my opinion. Like when the sun's out or when it's hot, I think it's fucking tremendous. Maybe because I grew up in the Middle East, but yeah, I like the heat. I know a lot of people go over there and they go, "Oh," but I don't know. I grew up in a desert, so I don't. No, I know.
Yeah, it's not for
No, I
everybody
know.
though. It's not for everybody.
Uh,
You know yourself. I'm working on the deck, getting up to temperatures of 45 plus.
yeah,
It's grueling for the lads out there. Um, you come out of the accommodation,
yeah,
you're soaking wet within 2 minutes, uh, and then you go and get changed on your break, and you come back out and you're soaking wet again. It is brutal, but if you're on a
yeah.
good
No,
vessel,
no, I'm with you
it
on that.
makes a difference.
I am. And yeah, but I'm going to wrap this one up, Chris, because this has been thoroughly enjoyable, actually. And I'm first things first, our last things last is thank you so much for coming on. And I had to have you back to be.
This one's for Chris.
Yeah, yeah.
This one's
Let
for Chris
down,
Rowan
absolute
because like
letdown. I
the
hope he
attention
listens to
seeking.
this episode. Make sure you share this with him.
I'll make
Must try
sure.
harder,
I'll
Chris.
make sure I do. No,
Yeah.
well,
No,
always
thanks
a
so much
pleasure,
for
mate.
coming on, Chris. Right, you take care of yourself.
Always, brother.
Cheers.
Look after yourself. Be safe.
And that wraps up the 20th episode. Hopefully, there's another 20 plus more to come. If you guys are enjoying this, and I am probably boring you now with the same old outro, but please do like, share, follow, all that good stuff. Let your mates know about it. If you don't like it, well, you don't have to listen to it at the end of the day. And if you've got this far, it must be getting your interest. Anyway, 20th episode, dead chuffed, dead delighted. I'm still looking for anyone out there to come on that feels they've got a story to tell, even though you might think that no one likes the sound of your own voice. I don't enjoy it at all, my own voice, but who really cares? At the end of the day, get on, get your show, get your story out there and get on the show. So, thank you very much for listening, and until the next time, we go again.